Special thanks to all our participants who are live here with us right now as the number continues to increase. Special thanks to the organizers of the conference, the Ocean Mint Consortium, for this epoch-making event. Definitely the conversation, if you missed it yesterday, there were some very, very good presentations, discussions, and conversations that was not just edifying, inspiring, and also some call to action points that were listed by our speakers and supporting those who supported their conversation. So today, to kick the floor open, we will first of all invite who spearheads the Ocean Mint Consortium to deliver her key opening remarks. Then Alhaji will come and give us his first word of his citation and get us prepared for the conference of the day. And so without further ado, let me open the floor for Mrs. Lola. Mrs. Lola.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you, Rume. I, I really appreciate everyone that were here yesterday. Yesterday was really, really impressive. And then the feedback, callings, and then it's quite impressive. The piece will be putting together to shape our collaborative vision at the end of the whole event. To delegate to a better, to provide a better Greek farming in Africa, most especially Nigeria, because we cap on what we learned yesterday. There's a lot that is lacking, and our motive and collective vision and what we put together will definitely be passed on and shared among our collaborations. Our action plans will make a difference in this sector. The recording will be shared after we all finish, edited and shared among all the participants to listen afterwards and then make their notes. There is this ongoing game changer, full system game changer lab, which is funded by Rockefeller Foundation in US, that Ocean Mint Consortium is part of. We will be sharing this piece with them to find global solution. And with what we taken yesterday, there's a lot that I've put together. Take, for example, the aspect of the workshop for the schools, inclusion in the curriculum, finance and then affordability, and funding to be able to develop maybe probably an app or phone for students, which I'm planning to put forward in this program going on, to be able to at least do something for the youth, as stressed by Alhaji, that he is interested in building the youth into agriculture, to incorporate them. Because when we look at what we talked about yesterday, majority of it is about financing, and then for the youth to understand the importance of agriculture, not for them to be practicing agriculture, right? They at least agribusiness, which is the main theme of our program. So majority of them practice agriculture and they get bored. They are not interested. But when they have something like a app in school that teaches them agriculture, it captivates them. And even a farmer in the rural area can operate a very cheap, affordable phone. And considering having an app like that on the phone that they are using to monitor or to monitor the yield, the output, the season, to control it, that's a very good one. And then that is what Ocean Milk Consortium is all about, to be able to find solution to incorporate advanced farming in Africa, so that inclusion it's in school curriculum. They teach them. They are not using it as a punishment, like Alhaji pointed out yesterday, for students to go and be doing farming. And they consider it to be a punishment when they ask them, oh, you have done something wrong, you are going to be cutting this grass. But they have to do it as a business, know it as a talent, because there's a lot to take in there. It doesn't have to be going there and be using it as a punishment like we all do. So I want to thank everybody, contribution, their input. It's really, really opened my eye, and we are going to work on what we discussed and take it on board and look for support and funding to do something with the workshop. So I will open this place and by passing it on to Rume to introduce the first speaker. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Lolade. So over now to Alhaji for his morning remarks before we introduce our guests. Thank you very much. Alhaji, over to you, sir. Alhaji, sir. Alhaji, are you here with us, sir? Okay. So while we wait for
I'm with you.
Okay, sir. I said for your opening remarks before we head straight to business.
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We are yet again on the seminar, in the second day of the seminar. What I will say from what Lolade has said is that we are here really to change the face of agriculture and bring about a paradigm shift. Yesterday, I made a lot of, I made some points regarding the way and manner agriculture is practiced in this country. Agriculture is not a social service, it's a business. And therefore, I would like us to always look at it as agriculture means business. Agriculture means business. Now, when we talk about what happened yesterday with regard to a school, with regard to youth, I want to make an announcement. And that announcement is to say, because we believe in agriculture based on knowledge, we have entered into agreements with universities, colleges of agriculture to train, teach, and get the student developed or the youth developed so that they have knowledge. And then from knowledge, they now practice, where we come to the second leg, where technology will be used and where agribusiness will be properly practiced. In order to maintain the status quo and sustainability, we have decided to open a robust YouTube Agri TV. And that will come on air anytime from now. That is Ocean Mint in conjunction with either group of companies will do that. And that has taken a long time to do. And we have gotten to the final stage. In addition to that, we have developed a curriculum for controlled environment agriculture, which means greenhouse technology. Because what we have are people using the technology without knowing what it is, without any knowledge about it. And therefore, it will be all embracing kind of training where they know about technology, the agronomic practice, and so on and so forth. And that we will do with all other technologies that will be promoted through our consortium. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome again to yet another day of interactive discussion. And I hope today will be better than yesterday, and therefore the future will be better than past years, because the future is longer than the past. For you to be able to know what to do in the future, most of the time, yes, you talk about the past, which is historical, but most important is what is happening today, and therefore using what's happening today, you can focus the future better. Although hindsight is very important, but today and tomorrow is more important than the past, because we are trying to change the past today so that the future will be better. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Alhaji, sir. So, going straight away into our first keynote speaker for today, who will be taking us on the topic, agro-business solutions adopting technology in modern times. Ladies and gentlemen, it is no other person but our own Mr. Kalu Michael. He is an agro-business consultant and an horticulturist expert. Mr. Kalu, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. And I hope you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Thank you very much for bringing me on board. Alhaji, special thanks to you. I am seeing faces I've not known before, but that is good. It's equally putting me on a very good footing. I'm sure we'll be having some break in transmission because of network where I am. I'm presently not in my house in Abuja. I'm out of Abuja, so it appears the network might be fluctuating, but nonetheless, we keep moving. Unfortunately, I was not able to join, but I thank God for the present circumstance. That is the will of God. Yeah, this conference, I want to speak from my experience in the last, let me say 34 years in the agriculture business. I spent as a graduate in the field of agriculture. And since then, I have been there, doing it practically, doing it theoretically, doing it outside and inside. And from the experience, I quickly jump into conclusion that without agriculture, no nation can stand. I've had the opportunity of giving talks to students in secondary schools, which they call career talk. And I had a lot of participants. There were so many speakers at that conference. There were lawyers, there were engineers, there were medical doctors, there were people from all different professions. The moderator deliberately came last. The lawyers showed their prowess. The medical doctor showed all he had. An electrical engineer, a woman, I remember that vividly, talked her own, and so many others. Then when it came to my turn, I stood up and walked to the students. I began with asking them, how do you feel this morning? Some of them said they feel okay. Some said, yes, we're okay, but we're not okay. And I said, why? They said, as you know, sir, that they are students, that there is no time as a student, they will have enough food or eat the class of food they want at every given time. That they take such class of food their body needs, or as they will require it when they get home. That invariably tells you the importance of food. And food cannot come without agriculture. Husbandry/production. The other one is the fisheries. Now, having said this, the next thing is, how do we think that the emerging technologies or the existing technologies in Africa can be applied for a better future for African nations, especially Nigeria in particular. From my experience in the field, the is yes and no. I meant to grow the agri sector. No, in the sense that if the technologies are there and we are not able to apply it appropriately, and the technologies are not utilized in the relevant agroecologies, then it will be a disfavor to us applying technology. Invariably, I am trying to say for a successful application of any emerging technology or existing technology, it has to be agroecology customized. If it is adopted, it must also be adapted. These are two keywords that can make technology a leader in ensuring national food security. Sustainable food security is guaranteed and for economic growth. I remember our policy document in agriculture in Nigeria as a nation is for food security and import substitution. That is just a summary. And by ensuring that food is secured, everybody, jobs are created along the path of the value chain. And to ensure that we do imports, we substitute import, it means we must have to apply the right technology, right policies governing the use of technology for production. Let me quickly narrow it down to a technology. As a horticulture man, I've been for 20 years. The use of technology. The use of greenhouse technology has been found to be very useful and should be our hope if we insist on it. Because I remember some 15 years ago, I had opportunity to interact with Canadian. I found out that at a certain point, they had over 3,000 farmers using greenhouses in production for local consumption, not for export. Then for those who should produce for export, we are meant to register with an agency established by government, so that that agency will now be responsible for whatever or whoever wants to export, which means an agency is coordinating productions meant for export. And that agency, they recognize it in Europe as the only agency, anybody who intends to import from that part of the country to another must go through that agency. And it's also the duty of that agency to ensure that the international standards required for production of this produce that are meant for export are done in their own locality. That is not to say that the quality of the produce would be different. The quality of the produce for local consumption will be different from the quality of produce produced for export, because they understood that if you eat well, you'll be strong and you work better. So invariably, it means if Nigeria adopts that technology, greenhouse technology, as in a national technology for producing our healthy food, then there will be a great impact. It means we have brighter future, because greenhouse technology will give you over 100 folds of what your open cultivation will give you. And your production is sustainable. That is there. Outside having it as a technology for food production, it is also a technology for job creation. that. Also, every section of it creates an opportunity for a marketer to come in and market the produce. Also, there's opportunity for somebody who is a transporter, a driver who owns either a truck market, and for that creates opportunity for the marketer, for marketers to come in and market those produce. By so doing, whatever is produced using that technology will sustainably be available and of the premium quality, which means sustainable, nutritious food will be guaranteed if that technology is applied. That still go to suggest that introduction of a technology, adoption and adaptation of that technology within agroecology will be panacea for our future development, for now and future development. That is that aspect. There's another aspect I want to touch, is the use of agrochemicals to enrich or to produce our food. If we still think back of what happens in the use of greenhouse technology, the use of bioinsecticide are more supported. Even when the use of inorganic pesticides are introduced into it, it is regulated. The use is moderated. It means an expert is needed. That calls for, that gives room for training. That is capacity building. It means for our farmers to utilize this technology properly, they must be properly trained in the use of that. And in my time, one of the things I suggested to government for us to accept this as a national technology that move the agro business forward in all spheres. Because if you look at it, there are chains there. I don't want to go into various chains. You have the co-production, you have the processing, you have the marketing. You also have a chain which between the marketing and the consumption, you have the transport value chain there. So there are lots and lots of chains which it provides jobs. And by so doing, Nigeria will forge ahead. But we one way that technology can move you forward. But if you have these technologies, you have the right skills and manpower to operate it, even at the local level. I can assure you the sky will be our limit.
Mr. Kanu, you are muted, sir.
Hello? Network, don't worry, it will come up. I have muted it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, continue.
Am I? Okay, you can hear me, right? So, sorry, it's network. It went off completely from my side. And I was trying to explain the need for capacity development for our youths, because our youths are the people, if properly trained, will be in a position, these technologies are not meant for the very old people who are into rural farming. And a 75-year-old man coming in the rural community has children. His children will need to be trained in such technology. Once he's able to train his children, his role will be supervisory. He will just sit down and watch his children do the magic of making quality food available for people and for himself and the entire family. So capacity development is very important. If technologies will see it as panacea. Now, specificity. One of the things I had advocated is each agro enterprise has its natural environment. Each agro enterprise has its natural environment. And in agri-system in the humid tropics had advocated that technology should be made to fit in properly in its own suited agroecology. That it will be a little difficult to pick up temperate technology and you come to the tropics, you want to superimpose it. You want us to just take it like that. It will not work. It can only work when it is brought in. It is first of all localized. And in the process of localizing it, we might meet situations where we do adjustments to guarantee its adaptability for the agro locality. So once we're able to carry out such research work on agro technologies being imported from outside into a place like Nigeria, we'll definitely need to, first of all, work to try to domesticate it before direct application. The greenhouse technology, we have worked on it for so many years. When it came, it was not really working. Thank God, one of them I worked with Alaji on it to domesticate a technology that came from somewhere. And we found out that, which we all discussed at that time, and then began to tell people, please accept this. But then, a serious problem we had along the pathway is availability and affordability. Affordability in the sense that, you know, here in Nigeria, it is the small scale farmers that occupies about 65% of the agri sector. We depend on them for our food, we depend on them for our fiber, we depend on them for our livestock and fisheries. For them to take technologies, such technologies must be within their reach. In as much as I am using greenhouse as a yardstick, I accepted it. And we preach it today, we preach it tomorrow. But the greatest undoing on it is that the affordability to our people became Hello, am I on now?
Yeah.
You are,
Hello?
you are. We can hear
Yeah,
you.
okay.
Okay. Sorry, my network here is fluctuating, but I'm happy you still hear me when it connects. So I am trying to share this experience and come up with the challenges that we face. The problem of affordability by farmers in our localities became a major issue. Well, the government on its own was expected to support. And you don't expect the government to do everything. Agriculture is a business. And I always stand to say it's a business. If you want to invest in agriculture so that you make money from it, you definitely must also invest, not wanting the government to give you everything. The government decided at that time to still give support that will enable real agribusiness farmers benefit from it. As I am talking, such infrastructure was established somewhere in Zaria. We supported the Institute of Agri Research in Zaria. By putting up for training of our local farmers. That will enable them, if you receive the training and you don't have money to use the imported greenhouse. Am I on?
Yes.
If you don't have money to acquire the imported greenhouse, well, there are locals who have started doing it. They do the stand with woods. Some do it with stainless poles, which made it come within what resources they have. Like if you go to Jos, you meet such Plateau State, you meet such situation. So what the government did was now to help in training the farmers in the use of inputs in greenhouse technologies. Because part of what should have been the greenhouse technology should be extension package. Some of these technologies will come without extension package. And some people are traders, they're just out for business. They go and import this thing and then want to market it without telling our people, this is how to use it. It is expected that if you bring in a technology, you sit with the farmers, make sure it is properly localized. But that was difficult. A few did it, and those who did it are succeeding. And the farmers who are equally doing it are succeeding. For instance, my experience in South Africa shows that most of their horticultural produce are gotten through greenhouse. South Africa then was about 50 million people. But through horticultural production, they were getting almost over 50% of the needed horticultural fresh produce from that production. And the method they produce was through this modern technology. So that what they offer at every given time at the market is what everybody can afford. But however, the government of South Africa played a major role. That takes me back to capacity building. One of the things they did was to train specialists in different areas. The man who, if your farm has problem, the input dealer will come. Or first of all, the specialist and entomologist will come, who is a private person, a chartered extensionist in entomology. He will come, identify what problems you have in your field. He will document it and walk away. Then an input dealer will come, look at what the entomologist has done, and then, oh, this and this will be used in managing it. He will go away. He will just document what should be done. Then the locally trained agrochemical applicator will now come. He will come and see the chemicals or the inputs identified for the management of the problem. Already he has specification or bioassay on how to use it because he has been trained. We now apply those things for the farmers and walk away. You can see 3 levels of people have come in, and these 3 levels will earn money from that farm. And you see that his earnings are sustainable because there is no way we'll continue to produce and we will not be interacting with the environment. All these pests live in the environment. They are part of the biodiversity. We cannot just go to destroy the biodiversity because we want to manage them. That is why we also say the greenhouse technology is very good. It enables you manage the associated problems part of the social problem in destroying the biodiversity. So that whatever you are applying it within the control environment. You have very good control. And by doing so, these three levels of people are gainfully employed. This unit, this farm is just one unit. There's another farm elsewhere. And there are farms dotted here and there. These people have been trained and given a job indirectly by government without knowing. The government trained them, gave them certificates with which they can now go open their own offices and begin to operate in their own area. If I'm an entomologist, I won't go to do the work of an agric I will be in my office. The farmers and identify it. After identifying it, I say, look at, this is what should be done. The agro input dealer will come and supply those things. The man who has been trained on how to use equipment, on how equipment are calibrated, and on how safety is guaranteed for himself and for the produce, we now come and apply those things. After applying it, he walks away. And that takes me to marketing the produce that has been produced by that by that farm. The man who will come to buy off will come and buy off everything. That's a middleman. He buys off everything. He will just come and park his vehicle, his cold truck, cold chain facility. Then if it is tomato, if it is pepper, if it is mango, if it is avocado, if it is banana, they will harvest all these things into the produce. He moves it, he does not sell, he does not pay the farmer directly. He moves it straight to the market. The market is so organized. That was why when I started, I talked about research is a value chain, production is a value chain, processing is a value chain, marketing is a value chain, consumption is a value chain. But people don't see it, but I see it that way. These are value chains. At every given point, there are legal framework that will definitely identify who and who is there. And each of these value chains have very great potentials for job opportunities. And at the end, what do we have? At the end, food security is guaranteed. Import substitution is guaranteed. You produce quality food for yourself. You eat it and you'll be healthy. The excess is now what we do, what we export. Let me now continue to emphasize on the horticulture sector. I had a similar experience in the rice industry, rice value chain. I was away for studies in Tanzania. Just Tanzania is an African country. One of the things they allow rice to be imported, but the imported rice cannot be prepared in any hotel in Tanzania on request. But local produce in Tanzania is the popular rice that can be prepared and kept for guests. If you come, what they will serve you in the hotels there is Tanzanian rice. From a polish, then I was asking them, I said, look, why not foreign rice? I want foreign rice. They say, no, sir. If you want foreign rice, we will charge you the tax and so that we keep records, which means the government has a way of monitoring the activities that leads to import. This. They cannot cook imported rice, prepare it and put, you come to a counter, you see imported rice. No, you can't see foreign rice. What you see will be local rice. If you have need for the foreign rice, you must give them notice the quantity you want them to prepare, they will give you a bill, including the tax. Mind you, before bringing it in, tax has already been paid. And by doing so, the government of Tanzania makes money. They charge over 50% of import duty in bringing in foreign rice. Then when you come to the hotel, you want to consume it. The man who is going to serve, the man who is cooking it for himself, and after this, they will still VAT on this. So we found out that all the regions we went to, it was Tanzania rice. When we got to where they produce it, we found out that in this region where rice is, it is rice production that has dominated. And what technology did they apply? They were producing both swamp rice and upland. What they do during the dry season, they turn on their irrigation facilities to supply water for upland production. During the wet season production on this land, right on that axis, they had rice mill there, being managed people, facilitated by government, installed it for them. They have the association, they have a very powerful association. In that their association, government has membership. The government reports situations to government. The association, bit by bit, defray the cost of the equipment. And by so doing, the manufacturer of the equipment was also there over some years to train people on maintaining that equipment, operations and management of the equipment. They did all this. Some of the places we went to, they had completely defrayed the cost of the machine. The machine was now owned by the locals there. And their own was bring out rice from the farm, take it straight to the mill. Bring out rice from the farm, take it to the mill. And you find out that a lot of jobs, opportunities were there. People were coming to buy the chaff. They used it for, as a source of energy. The rice bran, they use it in firing the oven. So they were also selling that and making money from what we here in Nigeria. If you go to you find out that you see waste here and there, but far away in Tanzania, they are not wasting it. They are bagging it and people are taking them away. So also, that takes me back again to the horticulture industry. In South African market, like the Joburg market and the one in Limpopo, they installed a machine. There's a machine installed at the corner of the market near the complex, the administrative complex. What does this machine do? This machine converts all the waste from the market. Once the sweeper, the cleaners, they clean 2 times. They clean in the morning, they clean in the afternoon. In fact, they clean 3 times. So the market closes by 2. They clean twice, in the morning and 12 o'clock. They will pack all the debris, all the vegetables, all whatever. They pack it and move it straight to the machine. What does the machine do? And this machine is in market. It does not use gasoline. It is electricity driven. And then this machine will dry this waste.
Sorry, Mr. Kanu, you have 10 minutes, sir.
10 minutes, okay.
Yes, sir.
This machine will dry it, will crush it, and transfer it back in bags and roll them out as organic fertilizer for these farmers. Farmers who are registered, whose produce come into the market, fertilizer back to them, are waste from the market. None is being burnt anywhere. they isolate the cellophanes and still return the cellophanes to the factories that make use of them. That is market. And you see that in the market, job opportunities have been created. The market itself is a raw material generating entity for fertilizer manufacture. I think Nigeria need to work with countries like that to find out what they do with this. That collaboration will be very important, and it will help us in managing the use of different technologies. The same thing goes even in greenhouses. A lot of waste comes from there. We have not learned to convert it to fertilizer. We just throw them away as waste. So capacity building comes in. Government must have very good interest in technologies if it must lead us to wherever we want to go. And I want to say that without technologies and emerging technologies, there is no way we can build the future the way we want. Agri is the way. Agri is the soul of life. No doctor can survive without agriculture. Agriculture provides the raw materials for the drugs that are manufactured. Agriculture provides the raw material for the lab coat the doctor wears. Agriculture provides the raw material for the hand gloves the doctor wears. Agriculture provides the raw material for the syringes the doctor uses in injecting us. Agriculture provides the raw material for all drugs. I don't think there's any drug. The source is not from agriculture. I told them in one of the forums that involves students who were career development. For us to do anything, if we set aside then Nigeria will overtake every other world countries because we've got the environment, we've got for any crop production, any form of crops, and their value. The key word there is that the application of technologies in the crop sector, in the livestock sector, in the fishery sector will lead Nigeria and Africa at large to where we want to be without much imports. I wish to recall that in one of the presentations made by the African Development Bank president, Dr. Adesina, who was once my minister, he was asking a question. Why is it that we produce cocoa here in Nigeria and they take the beans from Nigeria, they take it to Switzerland, they prepare chocolates, China have taken cocoa from Nigeria. They have gone back to China. They have domesticated our cocoa. We didn't know. Today, China has over 6 million stands of cocoa trees. What do they want to do? Because they know there is market for that. Nigeria, a few years ago, developed 18 months variety of cocoa. What have we done with it? I happen to monitor that. I covered the Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Abia, and others on the performance of that variety, that new breed. That technology is fantastic. That technology is fantastic. It is also applicable in the horticulture industry where you can graft your tomato, you can graft your mango, you can graft your oranges, you can graft so many things, and you have them in the shortest possible time. All these are technologies. It is for us to make sure that these technologies are properly harnessed, managed very well, develop capacities of our local people. It's not just developing capacity on top. I believe I am one of those who advocates for a bottom to top approach. And I have done it with international organizations in some of the projects I managed, and it gave a very perfect result, bottom to top. But when you start to plan at the top, you superimpose it on the people in the rural area, it doesn't work. because you have not studied their needs within their own agroecology. That's why I said, any technology you're bringing in, you must make sure that it is adaptable to a particular agroecology. If it is such that can be adapted by, within our own ecology, oh, well, I'm fine. Adoption of ecologies. So I think let me wrap it up here. Maybe and stand to entertain questions and further discussions. There are more to discuss. Unfortunately, I was not here yesterday. If I was here, maybe I would have also taken us to revalue chain analysis in all fronts, so that people will know that with agriculture, the sky will be our limit. And anybody in the agri-business, you see it as a business, you're there. Nobody can compete with you anywhere, even in terms of discussion. It will make our children, become focused. Know that agriculture is the way. I just told you the career talk. Children say we took this, and I started, I took them. What did you eat? This one say pap, this one say akara. I said, aha. The lawyer, what did you eat? The doctor, what did you eat? People, they want to say tea. I say tea, is it not cocoa? So when you look at this holistically, I know I could have asked all of you that this morning before I began this talk, but I believe we are all in the business. This is why I say stand down. So, Alhaji, thank you very much. I can see you smiling. So thank you very much.
You've done very well. You've done very well.
Thank you. We'll keep on with this. I like it. It will make me, bring back some of the things I've forgotten.
That's the whole essence.
Of that. Yes. So let us see the three enterprises in agriculture as key to whatever anybody wants to do in agri-business. It is very key. Some people jump it. That's why I say maybe in subsequent discussions, I will take time to open them properly to show how that's a complete value chain on its own. Then you look at production. Even in production, you still get value chains there. You look at your processing. It is also a whole lot involved. You look at marketing. You find out that a whole lot is involved. You look at consumption, a whole lot is involved. Let me also remind you that even when it comes to post-harvest management, the cold chain storage facility, I am a member of what we call OTAQA. OTAQA is Organization for Cold Chain Facilities in West Africa. In fact, I am the vice president, but because I gave myself leave, the president is the only person working. We had developed a lot. Even we developed a cold chain facility your vehicle can trail to your farm. You harvest whatever you have, you push it in, and you drive it home. A generator is mounted on it. A small one, portable one, a 5 kVA generator. We also develop another one that is also driven that way with a solar panel on top. That you put it, mount it on your vehicle or your tractor. I am sure by the time
Mr. Kanu, can we just ask people to ask questions at this moment?
Yes,
now?
Yes, please.
So, because we have a lot of speakers today, and you are the first to open the floor. So,
okay, because I wasn't there yesterday, that's why I decided to take so long.
Okay, we have it's past 30 minutes now. It's already almost 45 minutes. So
okay,
thank you so much. Yes.
Thank you.
We will now ask anyone that has question for Mr. Kanu to please raise up their hand, or maybe probably just shoot a question and is here to answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any question? I know people have a lot to ask. Okay, we have Kabiesi here, and then he will be asking his own question. So Kabiesi,
yes,
shoot your question.
Good morning, everybody. I hope everybody can hear me. This is listening carefully to the
I can't hear you. I can't.
Obviously, we can't hear you. Maybe probably you type your question on the Q&A.
What's going on?
That would be.
Obviously, can you type your question on the Q&A? We couldn't hear you properly.
Okay.
If we type the question, Mr. Kanu, then you can take it from there.
Well, while he's doing that, if anybody has a question, we should go ahead. Lolade?
Yes, do we have any other question to entertain? Kabiesi should type his question on the chat box.
Okay.
So is there any other? Okay, we've got someone raising his hand up. Water. Hold on. I'm trying to get the name of the water.
Hello, madam.
Okay, sorry, I can see that. Watershed Capital. Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Okay, my name is Ayola.
Can you ask your question, please? Mr. Kanu is here.
My question is this. Thank you, Mr. Kanu. You have been very, very insightful in your submissions. But my question here is, how do we, I think it's fantastic and brilliant for us to discuss this kind of insightful concepts, but how do we ensure that this kind of fantastic ideas that we have been discussing since yesterday eventually get to the relevant authorities who will eventually enact them? Because it's one thing to identify them, it's another thing for us to be able to get it to people that will eventually implement them. So how do we ensure that this is done, sir? Thank you. And good morning, Alaji.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Very fine, sir.
Thank you very much. Good question.
Let me quickly take this. I think one of the essence of this conference is to enable ideas come up and then present it for solution. I want to let you know that having left Federal Ministries Plus, I am still linked up with them. And I also want to tell you that as we are speaking, I'm a certified management consultant for the ministry on integrated export control strategies. We are working out documents on this. A meeting is going on about now in the ministry. But because of this, I decided not to be part of it for today, but I'll get every information. All we are discussing today, all these ideas, are already documented, and some more are being documented and being forwarded to the ministry. I'm still in contact with the Federal Ministry of Agro, being pursued in the division I left. The issue of integrated export control, we started with horticultural fresh produce export. How do we make sure that wastages are not left here on ground? How do we make sure we take it to others who need it? So it is being worked on by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture to make sure that some of the issues I've deliberated here are being handled. I don't know, does this satisfy your, hello? Are you with me?
Are you
Hello?
okay with the answer Mr. Kanu is asking?
These things are being put together for further push to government. I believe the essence of this conference is to identify some of these gray areas and then make a presentation to government. And on my side, I am retired, but I am not tired and I am not out. So I want to let you know that I continue to work with them. If there are areas I discover they should try to improve on, I will document that and send to them and say, please, we started this, we started this. Let me give you a typical example. You remember the issue of black sigatoka of plantain and banana. I worked on it. You know the issue of tomato disease, they call it tomato Ebola, tuta absoluta. The tuta absoluta disease came into Nigeria with full force in 2015. I came up with a documentation that enabled Nigeria to overcome it today. And management of tuta absoluta is so complex. This is a pest that has 5 to 6 instar stages. Every stage is 2 years. Came up with a solution, biomanagement, not use of ordinary insecticide. We use what is produced in Nigeria, a combination of that. We use it, distributed it to farmers. In fact, we even brought the Britons to come to Nigeria to see how they could help us at that time. But when they came, we saw what they have. We decided to work on it. With the help of National Horticultural Research Institute, we were able to develop our own organic management system. And I'm telling you today that at Gombe, at the Federal Horticultural Institute or College of Horticulture, we have built a plant that utilizes chemicals for insect management, not just only the tuta absoluta, for other pests. We have felt that. That was the last thing I did before I left the service. If you go to Gombe now, go to the Federal College of Horticulture, that in Kowa, you will see a completed structure with all the equipment installed, with all that is needed to be processing, to process dogoyaro, to extract azadirachtin from dogoyaro, to use eucalyptus, to use garlic, to use ginger in formulating our pesticides for agricultural production. This will completely remove the incidence of the popular diclophos, which is common in beans. That is why Nigeria cannot export beans today to Europe. So we have that machine in Gombe. Maybe now I have left. There will be a follow-up.
Mr. Kanu,
yes, please.
Some other question is here, and then so that we can manage the time. I have Kabiesi. He's saying, I strongly believe in bottom to the top approach, but I discovered most smallholders farmers are largely uneducated in rural community.
Yes.
How can we carry this segment of people along in modern technology?
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Kabiesi, I think our problem, you know, I said we have a lot of value chains in agriculture. We have research and development, we have extension. And when I got involved in donor agencies, international donor agencies fund, in managing plantain and banana in Nigeria, I was in so many Western states of Nigeria. I was in Ibadan, I was in Ondo, I was in Ekiti. Was where again? I was in Ogun. The idea was not to come and impose something on those rural farmers. We went to the villages. You know, every village, every rural community has an elite. How you can believe with me that every rural community where you have farmers, you have what we call an elite farmer. The elite farmer is normally, we normally create a small committee. That small committee will involve the elite and uneducated farmers. So the elite farmer, in whatever we are doing, we translate it to the locals or in any other language. So whatever we do at that time, we get to them there and there on the spot. And we were doing it in their own, they provide where meetings are held, not us. So we still believe in that. I did it in plantain and banana. We distributed 275,000 meristems of bananas imported from Costa Rica, and we started with them. Even people who cannot understand English now understood how to manage it, to the extent that when they brought their first harvest, they were looking for me to give me for remembering those of them called elite farmers among the rural farmers in a particular community. So whatever technology, you use the rural farmer. And don't forget that there is an extension system in a state, the ADP. The ADP has the general manager of ADP or whatever they call him. There is also the block manager. There's also the zonal manager. There's also the extension agent. The extension agent is the least on the rungs of the ladder in the extension management. So even when we were doing this donor agencies work, the extension agents were there with us and they selected the elite farmers. So whenever we come for any capacity development, all those who do not understand English are part of the training.
All right, sir. Mr. Kanu, I'm sorry, I might have to stop you now.
Thank you.
I know we will still have more time to do.
Yeah.
Any questions can be put on the chat box so that we can do the showcase. We have already spent more than 45 minutes now.
Yes.
So Alaji, Alaji, question after.
Alaji, comment.
Let
me hear about that.
Yeah.
If Alaji come in now, we will not leave this place.
No. Just
yes.
Very short.
Please.
Very short one.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kanu said he's retired but not tired. And from all indication, there are a lot to get from him. I have made an announcement in the beginning. We are going to have a YouTube TV and we involve the likes of Kanu in discussion, and then everybody will key in and therefore get educated, and then we change the things through virtual conferences and so on and so forth. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, Alaji, for coming in.
Okay.
So this video of the recording will be actually edited and then put on YouTube so that people can go there, ask questions, and on what any further one we are going to be doing are going to be uploaded same way. So any further question can be put on the chat box, and we will definitely answer you after the event by sending you an email to read through. So thank you, Mr. Kanu. I want us to do showcasing now because we need to have a break after. So in doing that, I want to call Ms. Tamtech to come and show us their own product regarding biogas, the technology they have on biogas. So I want the MD of Tamtech to come in now. Thank you.
Yeah, good afternoon. I am sure is a familiar face. I was here yesterday.
Yes, very familiar. Very familiar.
I'm here again today, even though I'm having a very busy schedule. So I was putting my sister on a lot of pressure that I have to quickly talk about it, and then because I'm traveling. So I'm so sorry, but I want to thank the last speaker. That was informative, and we are glad to have you around. I will be looking forward to having more of you around. But you mentioned something that I would like to also talk about briefly. and that leads me into the waste to energy part of what I do. Nigeria wastes 40% of the food we produce on a yearly basis. This is from a food and agricultural organization. The data is there. 40% of the food we produce is being wasted, and 31% of the total land mass that we occupy in producing this. And also we contribute to the global greenhouse gases to the tune of 5%. We're talking of global warming and the rest of it. So what our activity on the farm does is it contributes about 5% into the global greenhouse gas that that emanates from agricultural process. So, and then generally they put a value on the waste that we generate on a yearly basis, and came up with $750 billion that is wasted annually on food waste alone. So that takes us to this critical part of agriculture that we are not looking at. The technology have been around since the 18th century, but we are just beginning to adopt it in this part of the world, even though we have some couple of projects around, but we are just beginning to appreciate and accept forwardly integrating farm processes to incorporate waste to energy. And to the glory of God, we are presently discussing with flour mills to see what we can do with their cassava. Maybe we can use it to generate heat and power, so that they can use the heat to also power their boilers, and also use the energy to power the operations of the farm. So the opportunities in embracing waste to energy is enormous, and there are so many part of it. You can look at the dry system, you can look at the wet system, where you can use solid waste that are not wet to also generate electricity. But the most important critical part of it is that for every agricultural processes, you always have waste. So even for the waste to energy project, you also have waste. So what are the waste? The waste are also additional source of income. And like I was talking yesterday, I was talking about diversification of income. We have to, in agriculture, because of shrinking amount of profit and high increase in the amount of input, you have to begin to look inward to see what you can generate internally that can give you additional income. Like I was also talking to my sister about rendering equipment for farmers that are into slaughtering. Okay, if you are into slaughtering, processing, and the rest of it in the livestock in part of the business, that's piggery, poultry, and the rest of it, all your waste can be rendered to generate poultry byproduct meal. We call it byproduct meal. In the poultry industry, you use the feather meal, you use the intestine, you use all other aspects, you crush them and make a meal out of it that is used to refeed the animal. So this technology.
We just want you to present. Oh, sorry, we need your just demonstration. We don't need more talk because we are running out of time. Okay, so well, the Tamtec Global Business Services is available. I just wanted to have a brief so that people, because we can't present, there is nothing to bring on board to show. So that's why I quickly mentioned it, so that people, we know where we're coming from. Anyway, so Tamtec Global Business Service Limited is here. We support farmers, and we have a couple of projects all around. We have one in Anambra as well that is supposed to give us 1.3 megawatt electricity. So we encourage farmers that this technology are available. If you need any resources, you can always find us on our website, www.tamtecng.com, or you can always place a call across to me through my sister, Lolade. So the technology are available. Thank you for having me around. And I hope we had a great time yesterday, and we had a great time also today. And thank you, the last speaker, for those words of those wealth of experience. Thank you so much, my sister. So you have the floor, Lolade. Thank you so much. We could have had next speaker, which is Ajia. Yesterday, she was having an issue of connecting, and she tendered apologies. I saw the this thing on the email, but this morning we haven't seen her. So I will call on Trade Links. I've seen them already, Agro Commodities Limited. So if they are around, the floor is theirs now, which is Trade Links. Can you mute yourself, please, Mr. Akin?
Just having a conference, I'll call you back later.
So if you don't have we don't have a Trade Link again, because I saw them earlier. I would like to talk about a friend of mine, because she just contacted me on these promoting zero non-oil export. She has been in oil and gas. She's been there up and doing, and she has seen it all. She makes a book regarding our experience in, venture into oil and gas business. At the moment, she's out. She's looking into another venture, which probably might be agriculture. Looking at promoting oil and gas export, I believe this is a good place for her to be. In doing that, she has produced a book. She's an entrepreneur, a business leader, an expert, and the book can be accessible from Amazon. I put it on the chat box. If you press on the link, you'll be able to see the book. It's all about our experience in non-oil and our experience in oil business in the past. So if you go on the chat box, if you're interested, you can download it. So I would like to introduce our next speaker, who is, his name is Mr. Segun Adebayo.
Okay, thank you.
He will be speaking, he's president of International Facility Management Association of Nigeria. And he's here to speak about integrated facility management, which is sustaining the agro business through proactive facility management. So I have Mr. Segun Adebayo here to take the floor. Thank you. So Mr. Segun, if you are here, the floor is yours. We can't hear you.
You can't hear me?
Yeah, okay, now we are good. We still can't hear you. We can't hear you. Hello? You are.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
You can hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you, MD of Ocean Mint, for the invitation. I am grateful, and it's a privilege, honor to be speaking to those that are fighting food insecurity through your creativity and ingenuity. I must emphasize here the privilege of speaking at this forum, especially because of my relationship with the MD of Ocean Mint. I'll call her by her first name, Lolade. We've been friends for a very long time, and I'm not surprised that she's doing this radical change in that ecosystem of agro business. I joined not long yesterday, and I'm so impressed by contributions of all the participants. I'm also interested in being part of the Adopt a School initiative that was discussed yesterday, because a nation that thinks about food will definitely be a wealthy nation. So please, I'm on to be part of that effort.
But to the business of the day, I've been introduced as Segun Adebayo. I'm the president of International Facility Management Association, IFMA for acronym, Nigerian chapter. We've been around for 25 years, about 25 years in Nigeria. And we took our source from IFMA International with their head office in Houston, Texas, in the United States of America. Our primary purpose is to support capacity building, knowledge development, and other game-changing initiatives in the ecosystem of building and built environment. I felt it's important for me to speak to integrated facility management, sustaining the agro business in a proactive manner. And I'm also glad that I've been privileged to speak here. I was speaking from my notes, and I was speaking from the angle of sustainability. I was speaking from the angle of value in that light. And I make bold to say that for all of us, individually and collectively, the intention and the idea, if not the initiative of the convener, plus all the participants, will also at a point in time narrow down to specifics around provisions for integrated facility management for every structure or every facility that we try to operate from or work from. It's also very important that the ecosystem of built environment requires a lot of proactivity when it speaks to facility and when it speaks to management. And when I speak to facility management as integrated as it may appear, I'm trying to say that the proactivity of all of us that operates either a farm or an institution that provide value-added services to the production of farm produce requires not only strategic, but a technically viable operational role and functions. I'm saying that, for an example, if we have any one of us that has a farm, in whatever manner that farm is being operated, either small scale or big scale, it's important for you to ensure that your farm manager understands the need and the importance to manage that farm professionally. In doing this, you are on the step of sustainability. Before I go deep, let me share with us what the components that we need to understand as facility management. And I'll be speaking from the 11 core competencies, or part of 11 core competencies of facility management, as described by the World Global Body, IFMA. And I will speak to operations and maintenance. Operations and maintenance, as one of the core competencies of facility management, speaks to how we operate the activities on our farm and how we maintain the infrastructures in the farm. Now, for a mechanized farming, you will need different equipment. For example, maybe a tractor. A tractor helps you to do what you need to do in the farm. And a tractor as an equipment requires maintenance and support. In maintaining the tractor, you must also ensure that those maintenance are either scheduled or preventive. In this case, you have a plan on how to effectively maintain that tractor as a critical equipment on the farm and also ensure a seamless operations of same. So where the tractor does not enjoy required and timely maintenance support, it will definitely affect the bottom line in terms of the expectation and performance that you want the tractor to do for you. So for efficient operations and maintenance of that tractor in your farm, it's very imperative for you to have a clear roadmap and framework on how that tractor will not only be managed, but effectively also maintained. If you do this well, clearly there's a value. Value in the sense that whatever plans and projections you have that the tractor will provide for you will be done within the time frame. where you do schedule and preventive maintenance, you will not only enhance the lifespan of that tractor or tractor, but you also ensure that the sustainability of that tractor will be assured. So I'm saying that amongst core competence, operation and maintenance of equipment that helps you to achieve your overall objective in an agro business is very, very essential. Let me also mention that the people that work on your farm, under the area of core competence of facility management, there's a part that speaks about communication. And communication, we all know, is not complete where the sender and receiver does not speak to each other. So communication in the areas of activities that has to do with the incidences and actions that happens in your farm. Let me use the pandemic period as an example of effective communication. So if you have a farm that's operating at a expected capacity, and suddenly we find ourselves in the system of this pandemic, it's important for us to communicate with both our internal stakeholder and external stakeholder, in the sense that in trying to comply with the protocols of pandemic, there must be clear communication from the management of the farm to the owners, from the owners to the staff, from the staff to the public, in terms of what's happening in the farm. So communication is very key and is a critical part to ensure not only a proactive, but a sustainable facility management. Let me also mention that the value chain of agriculture is not only sustainable, but achievable where we put to practice the effectiveness and efficiency of a professional facility management activities in that ecosystem. It's also very important for us to know that one of the core competences of FM is also information technology. And I realized that the nation where we find ourselves, whether Nigeria or outside the country, requires ingenuity, innovations, and technology to succeed. I've had several conversations with Lorade on how this business could go beyond our expectation. And there's no time we've had this conversation that I've just spoken about the use and effective use of technology. As the president of IFMA, we emphasize strongly and very seriously on capacity building. So I want to say here that in doing this as a player in the industry or a strong player in the ecosystem of agro-allied, let me say that it is important for us to begin to think in the direction of having a clear plan and a framework on facility management of our farms. For those that have been doing, the assurance I can give you is that myself as a core and independent activist of facility management across board, will make myself available pro bono to provide support and insight for those that are already started, so we can take it to a higher notch. I will also say here that it's very critical for us to begin to think in that direction if you have not been doing that, and also integrate this as part of our strategic plans to ensure that the success of this initiative that cannot be rivaled by any, because in my local parlance as a Yoruba man, they said that I will translate, which means that when there is no hunger, then you are bound to succeed. It's important for us to begin to see the value, both inherent and potential, if not real, that integrated facility management will bring to the ecosystem of agribusiness. And like I said, I'll be available to provide support, to provide assistance, to provide guidance to anyone who is willing to embrace integrated facility management towards a sustainable plan, action of our respective businesses to achieve not only a proactive effort, but also a value-adding effort. I thank you all for listening, and I'll take questions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Adebayo. I would like anybody that has question to throw it out, and then is here to answer regarding his speech. So any questions? We're waiting. Is there anybody that has anything to say to what we've heard? Yeah, I can see Mr. Kanu wants to speak.
Yes, I was just wondering if he's a private sector facility management expert or he is a facility manager in a government agency. If it's not, how does his activity or activities in facility management relate with what the government is doing in, parts of agriculture? Because has been issues. How does he fit into such things? There are a lot of government facilities, there are a lot of government agencies that have facility managers or facility consultants or management consultants. Let me put it that way. So to the benefit of the government and the people. Is it with me?
Can I respond to that, sir?
Yes.
Okay, thank you for your question, sir. And let me start by sharing my own personality so I can connect to what you just said. Up until 2017, May to be precise, I was the head of general services of FBN Quest Merchant Bank, a leading merchant bank fully owned by First Bank of Nigeria holding company. I've had over 17 years in banking with core competence in administration, facility management, and what have you. So in June 2017, I was appointed as Senior Special Assistant to the Governor of Ogun State, Senator Ibikunle Amosu, as SSA to the Governor on Facility Management. That led my foray into public service without political appointment. I did that for 2 years between 2017 and 2019. And we were able to establish a sustainable framework with a pilot run in managing a special part of government assets, which is malls, shopping malls, and modern markets that the state government built across the state capital. In doing this, I've also been a council member of IFMA, where I'm the president now, for about 4 years. And one of the things we do is to also interact and engage government agencies, both public, in state and in federal. As a member of the council of IFMA Nigerian chapter, I was part of the team that evaluated and spoke at a stakeholders engagement organized by Ministry of Works and Housing, where we had conversations about a paper speaking to management of public assets, which was anchored by Ministry of Works and Housing. So as the president of IFMA, is a not-for-profit organization, but a professional association where we work with government agencies, where we work with private institutions, not only to deepen the potential value of FM, facility management, but also to change the narratives. And let me also say that our last effort in changing narratives was nothing but a collaborative workshop that we had just last week, Wednesday and Thursday, with Lagos State Property and Development Corporation, LSDPC, where we had an engagement with the artisans. This came up because we felt that whatever you do in a built environment, whatever you do to any facility or infrastructure, those technicians and artisans are very, very important. And they are the last mile on the chain. So we had a session with them where we try to give them some sense of involvement and asking them to take ownership of what they do. Also spoke to the economy of FM, where they are also very critical and important to the value chain of facility management. So what is my role? I'm speaking today as president of that association, and I'm saying that beyond my private experience, my public engagement have also shown the need for us to continuously improve in the areas of providing integrated facility management towards a sustainability and where we are also proactive about it. So in fact, I have to leave a press conference of the Honorable Minister for Works and Housing to join this webinar, where he's speaking to different issues on infrastructure, works, and housing. In fact, I must say that beyond the fact that we also try to ensure that the built environment is professionally managed, one of the things we also do is also do advocacy. Advocacy in the areas of improving our culture around what I call lack of culture in FM. So our engagement in IFMA, where I speak from now, has been to speak to activities of governments and private that speaks to the value and reorientation and management of our facility. Another thing we also did not too long ago was to commend the effort of Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, where they engaged professional facility managers for governments, federal sectors across the nation. We did a press release to that effect, and we acknowledge that. We even wrote them to commend them for that action. Again, when the National Theatre was handed over to Bankers Committee to bring that to life, we also commended those involving agencies, and we offered a team of consultants, pro bono, to be part of the reactivation of that sector from a proactive point of view, whereby we say that it will be very important for facility managers to be part of the consultant that works on facilities. So they can also advise what we call sustainable initiatives, because whoever works in a facility as a contractor in terms of construction will leave the site and hand over that site to a facility manager. And where the window of opportunity to be part of it in the areas of sustainability consulting, we also help the lifespan of that facility. So I stand to speak from the angle of engaging public institutions constructively and progressively. And I also speak from my wealth of experience to also give guidance. In fact, let me also say that Olade did not, she wanted me to speak from a different perspective. And I said that, let me speak from the angle.
I think I'm satisfied with, hello? I'm saying I think I am satisfied with the explanations you've given so far, because you've started it from the state, your role as a facility management organization. We've started it from the state to federal government. I will only suggest that you continue to expand your scope of activities, because we need facility management people to look into some of the decaying infrastructures or agencies that are not properly managed for their guidance.
Thank you very much, sir. That is noted.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Shegun. Do we have anybody that has questions? Otherwise, any questions goes into the Q&A.
Hello, can I ask a question, please?
Alaji, the doctor is here to ask a question. Alaji is also raising. So, which should I take first? Okay, let me take Dr. Alaji. I know you will take time, so let Doctor quickly. Doctor, we have just 5 minutes.
Okay.
So go ahead, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for a beautiful presentation. The very crucial question I'd like to ask is, when it comes to facility management on the agribusiness sector, I want to know how active is this sector of the industry working in partnership with MDAs like the Ministry of Agriculture and all their agencies in management of machineries that are completely gone comatose in many of the ministries, and governments year in, year out budget money for machinery year in, year out. If you go to all the local government offices, you will see moribund tractors, state-of-the-art tractors. I'm not just talking about tractors, farming implements. Then many of the government settlements, you go into some part of your state, some part of Imo, some part of Enugu, and in fact, look, I will blow your mind, Kano as well. A lot of government farm establishments are in what we call comatose. Does it mean government does not have understanding or know that there are facility management institutions in Nigeria? Because that is one of the problems we have in terms of maintenance culture. And then also farmers. How well are you reaching out to farmers for them to understand the importance of on-farm facility management? Because farmers, yes, we know they are well trained, but they cannot be a jack of all trades. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Doctor, for that, that very critical and important question. And I'll attempt it this way. From two levels. And the first level is to speak about engagement, engagement, and engagement. And I said that with a high sense of humility and modesty. The reference point I made about Federal Ministry of Works and Housing trying to, in fact, the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing have a department now that is responsible for public buildings and infrastructure. That came about the early part of this administration. And for us, it was a game-changing initiative. And this came about because of the unique initiative of the current minister, who happens to also be the first governor in the state in Nigeria to have a state-owned facility management agency that takes care of the asset and infrastructure of Lagos State. I am aware that Kaduna State also have such agency, and that is the two I'm aware of as we speak. When I try to also answer your question, sir, let me also say that facility management as a course in our educational system only happens in master's level in two universities. One is in University of Lagos, where they have masters in FM, and I think another one in Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. I'm also aware that University of Abuja is doing first degree now. I stand to be corrected. But let me also mention that IFMA was instrumental to the emergence of masters in FM in University of Lagos, because one of our vision is to enhance knowledge and capacity in whatever platform we can find ourselves. Now, when I say engagement and engagement and engagement, one of the things we have done is that we have not stopped at engaging public institutions through ministries, departments, and agencies. And we admit that we've not gotten to a Ministry of Agriculture. But I'm aware that some of our private practitioners and industry players are already providing integrated facility management services for some selected private farms in view of the current realities. And I'm aware that one or two of my colleagues who runs a facility management company are doing well in private sector. Maybe I would say awareness is not enough, but again, is a going concern. But let me also state to you, sir, that whilst we have not been into agric, I make bold to say that when Ministry of Aviation was commissioning the additional terminal in Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, we wrote to them as an association offering our professional supports to develop a standard operating procedure for that new terminal so that it doesn't become like the old one. But again, you know what we see? You don't get feedbacks from such institutions for reasons best known to them. We wrote to FAN particularly, I must say. And again, that's why I said engagement, engagement, engagement. I think what your question was going to drive is that by the grace of God in October or November, we're going to have our second edition of Advocacy Day. Advocacy Day is for us to reach out to people, the industry, to also open up some conversations around what we are not doing well, what we are doing well, and what we can do better. And I can assure you here that one of our keynote speakers will be somebody from Ministry of our Department or Agency of Agriculture, so that we can begin to also turn our beam lights into that sector for the purpose of value and sustainability. But I can say to you that we continue to engage. And the second point is that conversation around critical elements of what we add value to this sector has commenced, like I said, in private sector. But again, we can also see how we could also push this. I think I have one or two contacts in the office of the Minister of Agriculture, where, you know, my trips, I can visit them and also bring up this conversation that you meant and see how we could add value. But one thing I can say is that because Nigeria is also a growing concern, I would say that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step. And I think one of the bold steps is this session that we're having today. And I can assure you that we will continue to speak where the opportunity presents itself, and also enhance our views more deeper in agriculture.
I think that answered the doctor's question. So we take the last one, which is the allergy. Then we'll go to the next speaker. Thank you.
I think Alaji is muted.
Alaji, you are muted. We can't hear you. Unmute yourself, sir.
Mine is not a question, but it's an observation and comment. Because what I observed and I'm happy about is the man who spoke, what's his name? I've forgotten, about facility management, integrated facility management, brought in a new dimension into facility management. Because everybody, when you talk about facility management, they look at real estate, offices, and so on and so forth. And it means that facility management can be extended to agriculture. Now, in doing so, Tony also raised a point. You talk about the Kamatos farms here and there. And Tony knows that within Ocean Mint, we have a system or a department or a company within Ocean Mint called Farm Recovery Services and Development. In Kano, we identified 750 Kamatos farms with all the infrastructure that could make them work. But unfortunately, either the investors are Kamatos themselves, or they cannot continue with that. So we reach out to all of them and we realize that it's either because they got the money cheaply and they cannot manage it, or they have children that cannot go ahead with that. And we are about to go ahead with that. We have taken over about 30 of them, and we are recovering them and redeveloping them, all inclusive, including the facilities they have. How do we do that? When we get in, we assess what you have. If you are in poultry, what are the things you are using? And therefore, why are they not working? Why are you not doing it? Then we reenact, redevelop, partner with you. If you are ready to move ahead, after 1 year, we're out and you go ahead. If you are not ready, we take over and we move on. So that's a very good development coming from you and then others. The second thing is, Doctor knows that I was talking to him about agriculture in real estate. Agriculture in real estate, because what's the point building expansive housing estate without agriculture in it? If we have the worship area, if we have the shopping malls, why can't we have agricultural section that will provide the shopping mall with all the agri-food that are required? Especially in this time of insecurity, we need to have that kind of thing in in estates. So again, Ocean Mint is looking at that holistically. And like I said earlier, this seminar is very good. It's a panacea. It's a platform for us to reach out to people like all the speakers and even participants to be able to come together and change the matrix, change the concept, bring in a paradigm shift so that we engage everybody I believe in advocacy. The problem, like you said, is not easy to reach out to government and do things fast. It's not because they are not interested, but they are too heavy to move. I gave an example yesterday of Nigeria and other African countries. I said Nigeria is like a trailer with bad piston, bad crankshaft and camshaft, smoking around, and other countries want to overtake, but because there's too much smoke both sides, they cannot move until Nigeria moves. So that is exactly what is happening with government. Government is too big to look at things. Government is too busy to look at things because government does not look at things from the business sense of it. It's from the social inclusion. And that's why a lot of wastage is being done. Imagine the tractors we have everywhere. We were aware that there was this tractorization policy that was enacted, and nothing has happened. Today, we need 7.5 million tractors. How many do we have? We don't have up to 70,000 tractors. And yet the farmers need them for 120 days during the season. They don't have tractors. And we expect to develop agriculture. So technology is very good, but there must be maintenance. There will be this integrated management you are talking about. That integrated means, it doesn't mean just one side. Integrated meaning bringing other people to be a collaboration that is inclusive, participative, rewarding, and sustainable. So this is what I need to say based on what you have said. And we're going to take it up as a consortium and reach out to people like you and make it work. Thank you.
Very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Alaji. That's a good one. In addition to that, I have my colleague from Food System Game Changer Lab, Wabere. She is into tractor. She's here. I saw her. She's from Kenya. They are dealing in tractor. But she's part of us. She could hear you. So after the event, I'll be able to speak to her what we can do with them to accelerate the technology you are talking about. So now to our speaker, Ajia Ibrahim. I think she's here. I saw her. Yes. Yeah. Madam Hajia Ibrahim, she will be talking about technology adoption for post-harvest management in modern agriculture. Unfortunately, our moderators is off. I couldn't read her profile. And then I will empower her to please introduce herself because I really don't have much about her details. Is with the moderator, but we lost him. That's why I'm taking over. So please, I open the floor by introducing Ajia Aisha Ibrahim. Thank you.
Good morning, good afternoon. My name is Aisha Suleiman Bafa. Ibrahim is my husband's name.
Sorry about that. So far, I didn't murder your name.
No problem. I registered Zoom with Ibrahim. So you will have Ibrahim on the registration.
Sorry, can everybody mute there? We can hear you. Can you mute so that we can hear Madam very well, please? Thank you.
Hello. Yeah, hello. Can you hear me?
We can hear you now. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm trying to mute the other Zoom that I'm on so that you'll not be hearing different voices. The other thing that I can try okay, so my name is Aisha Suleiman Bafa. I'm I have several businesses, but I started with working with the bank. I had almost 10 years experience in the bank. Then I thought I was tired of counting people's money. I want to make mine. So I resigned and started my business. And we started with, I started with the production of yogurt. which I didn't have much experience. So we went into production of zobo, which the English name is hibiscus, and then tamarind. Also, they are, I would say, northern drinks that we decided to produce in bottles instead of selling them locally in plastic bags and used bottles. So this is what we've been doing for almost 20 years now. We package zobo and tamarind and water, and also orange and pineapple and concentrates. So afterwards, we decided to get managers and upgrade and grow the industry. So I went off to start organizing women because of the problems that we were encountering while doing this business, manufacturing. So that was the business, the problems of company registrations, the lawyers, the trademark, NAFDAC, SON, and all that. So with that, we formed a women's group, which is the network of women innovators, which is the network of women in almost everything, BMOs, CSOs, CBOs. So we formed this network, and from the network, we started in business. So I then went on to do a consultancy with DFID, which is the Department for International Development, UK. So with that, we did a program on business licensing reforms, which is reforms on what people or businesses encounter while starting business, which we later found out that apart from what I know, there's so many problems that other businesses face. So that reform has, part of it started the ease of doing business. And we collaborated with another project, which was the investment project of that program. And then that brought about the ease of doing business in Nigeria, which is now domiciled in the Vice President's office. So the project has ended, but luckily the ease of doing business in the Vice President's office is still on. So that led also to me becoming the Vice President for Agriculture at the Kano Chamber of Commerce. We've been members for almost 10 years. And then I became the Vice President, which my term has finished for 4 years. And from the little that I heard on this group is some of the problems that were raised, some of the issues that I decided to bring up while I was Vice President. Part of them are the seeds problem, the mechanization, the policies especially. We found out that Kano didn't have an agriculture policy, which we also raised and started the project with Pearl Ac and Ministry of Agriculture. That went on for about a year, but then it stopped. And I think for some time now, the policy is still on pause. So with these problems that we're facing in agriculture, this is one of them. So I also became interested in in the problems also that commodity associations face, also doing export and things like that. So I'm also on the board of the network of non-oil exporters in Nigeria. So that's that was launched last year after the COVID. And since then, we have done a lot of work working with NEPC and Federal Ministry of Trade and other MDAs to help with the problems that of export. So it's also, I would say, connected with the business licensing reform. And then right now, I'm also on another Zoom meeting with the Trade Facilitation West Africa, which through our women group. But I started the women group because I found out that they're just having these meetings with the government agencies, and there are no gender, and also private sector participation is very low. So we forced our way and became their members. So we are now registered TFWA members with the ECOWAS and the EU. So I also facilitated the EU trade agreement in Kano, which brought a lot of awareness, because a lot of our people didn't know that there was anything on trade facilitation in Kano, in Nigeria. So we brought it to Kano to see how we can do trade with EU. But that also led to, because there was, Nigeria did not sign the agreement, so that led to these committees on Africa free trade. So with the TFWA now, hopefully the report is now being given to ECOWAS and EU on the trade facilitation in West Africa and the problems that people are facing. So I would say that most of what I do is on advocacy, on, in summary, on ease of doing business for all businesses, not just women. So, but representing the women helps us in being there for women, and for women to have confidence and be able to understand the problems and how to overcome them. So we usually sometimes do like this focus group meetings or discussions where we hear from the women generally. So if the women face problems with cross-border trade, so we pick it up and we now approach like donor partners that do projects on those issues, and we become part of the committee and also lay out the problems that women are facing. So it assists in helping, which I wouldn't say that in Nigeria that we have been able to overcome most of our problems. We still have, if we have 10 problems, maybe 2 have been maybe overcome, but at least the issues, people know them, because before people don't even know that there are even issues. They felt it was just part of doing business to have problems. So this is what I've been doing so far. I would say in summary, but I know I've said a lot. So thank you for giving me the opportunity. And I appreciate being part of this group also. And I also would like to apologize. Yesterday we had problems with the network and I couldn't log on. And today I was in another meeting and they wanted the opinions of the women. So I couldn't join early. So, but thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I would also implore that I get a recording of this program so that I'll see how we can be able to see the issues that have been discussed and how we can work together to not overcome them, but discuss them and see how we can help businesses. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I thought you were going to discuss something, but I know actually our time is really running out. So if anyone has question for her, she's here to answer in the next 10 minutes, then we can move up to the next segment.
Thank you very much, Ajia. That was a brilliant presentation. And God, I see the workload that you have carried so far. That is hugely phenomenal, honestly. But Ajia, the question I want to ask, very simple, because in agribusiness, for me, I have traveled the world so far, working with UN, and everywhere I go, I found it just make true that women always constitute 75% of the labor force in agriculture, yet they remain largely unrecognized. They remain largely unrecognized. I'll repeat that. And again, their reward in terms of revenue at the farm gate also remain so minute regarding the fact that they are the backbone of the family household. What is your organization doing to help to reshape the lifestyle of women in agriculture? Thank you. That's my question.
Okay. Thank you for the compliment. And this is where we come in, actually, because I was the first female, I would say, Vice President for Agriculture at the Kano Chamber of Commerce. And since I was on the council, I would say that we have tried and have done so much to bring in women. One of the problem that you're asking is generally, this is why we have gender issues. Because men generally are the ones that speak out. They're the ones that do things and the ones that go out to look for what they want and get what they want. Women usually just stay where they are and accept the situation they're in. But with our organization right now, what we're doing is we are mobilizing women. I was in Belgium some years back when I was with Enterprise Europe Network, and we tried to. I was there on my own, and what I did was to meet with the Kole ACP to bring them to Nigeria So actually we succeeded in bringing them to Nigeria, but because of these issues that you are asking me, the problem that we have is the formalization, bringing ourselves together and forming groups. Right now, people have become aware because they see us women, household women, doing these things, going out, going to places, and being able to sit with men and discuss issues, and also do business with men. So we have given our women encouragement to also come out. So the women that we see coming out now are more than the women that used to come out before. And then we have focus group discussions. We ask them the issues and we take them to the table to where we're supposed to discuss them. And then also with the Kole ACP, what they told us was we have to cluster ourselves. So this is what we're doing also. We're clustering the women because one woman can do more than, multiple businesses. She'll be in tomato, she'll be in pepper, she'll be in onion, she'll be in grains and all that. So we're showing them to now have a niche and be in a group so that when we're helping that group, we're being able to see how many women we can work with. And then there's also the issue of access to finance, which is a very, very, very big issue. For the time that we started about 10 years ago, I would tell you that only about 3 years ago, that we're able to get finance for women. So this 60% that you're talking about, or 70%, is lack of access to finance. And then there's lack of access to land also. In the northern part of the Muslim communities, luckily, there's a woman can inherit her husband, she can inherit her father, she can inherit her son, she can inherit her daughter. So depending. So if there's land inheritance, a woman can inherit the land, but she cannot be able to walk on the land because of the culture and the religion. So only now that you see women in this part being on the farm. So we're still working on getting them to be on the farms and be able to work for themselves. Because when they put the men to work for them, they cheat, they don't bring them what they're supposed to bring, or they don't do the work that they're supposed to do. And then the money goes. So that's another issue. So there's so many issues that we're discussing. And like you said, it's a very big workload. It's very big, but we're doing what we can and we're doing our best, actually.
Thank you.
Hello.
Is there any other person that has question?
Yes, there's somebody here who wants to ask Aisha a question.
Right, okay. You can take that.
Hi, Aisha, Aji Aisha.
Yeah, hello.
Well done, madam. I truly believe in women empowerment, and I want to ask a question. How do you see the goat dairy industry in the northern part of Nigeria, and how are they trying to improve on this in this area to empower women in terms of, because I heard you talk about processing yogurt at the beginning of your career, or at some point in time in your career. So I'm looking at how is it possible, or is there still something existing at the moment for women to access what do you call it, productive dairy goats, to empower them produce whether it's yogurt or whatever it is, it's in the dietary part of diet consumption, in the northern part of Nigeria.
Okay, so in the north, if you talk about goat, Goat is a prohibited animal, but it's a culture in the north that they, I would say, would I say eat or the industry for goat is not that big because they go for cows and sheep more than goat.
The
So,
dairy, I'm talking about the dairy aspect. Sorry.
dairy. Okay,
The
I didn't hear.
Dairy
Goat.
goats, not the goats itself, but the dairy goats, I mean.
Okay, so going on the goat itself
Yes.
is not, it is just coming now to us, even though we know that it is halal and it's something that it's very good, and the meat and the milk, and it's better than the sheep and the cow, but the awareness and the knowledge is just coming now. So the business of goat is going to be very big if people know the benefit. So the benefit is what they will go for because they're not used to it. They're more used to it, used to the cow and the goat, the sheep. So the milk itself is also something new. So there's going to be a lot of work to get the business of the milk. But I know that in dairy, the goat milk is going to be, if you produce it, we are going to get more milk than you get in the others. So it's going to be a new business. It's going to be, I believe, it's going to be a huge business.
Thank you so much, madam.
You're welcome.
Right. Any other question we have can go into the chat box because we don't really have much.
Moderator, I just want to add. Yes, give me this.
Okay, sir, go ahead.
This last opportunity to add to what Ajia, the explanation was talking about women not participating in agricultural production. I want to add that in agricultural value chains, there are specific areas women play very key role, and men are not there at all.
Yeah.
When it comes to marketing of agricultural produce, you see it's predominantly done by women. Those of us in the horticulture industry have found out that market our horticultural produce. You see, even in Abuja, go to any of the vegetable or fruits market, you find out that women dominate. Early in the morning, when these things are being trucked from various states to a central market, the people you will see rushing to take over the marketing of this fresh produce are women. And even in the production, in Kubwa, Gwagwalada axis, women have very huge associations there. They are majorly into vegetable production. So they are involved so much in a section of agricultural commodities value chain. Majorly in the marketing. You find out that you rarely find men sit in the market, go to any market. So women they have their own area of specialty in some of the agricultural produce value chain. That's just what I want to add, that women are more into marketing than production, while the bulk of productions are done by men. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the contribution. But I will add also that in the northern part, it's the men that are more in the markets than the women. And in the production of maybe processing, women process more than men, and the men take it to the market. So when I was doing the project on business licensing reform, this is one of the problems that I was asked to bring women to the market. But because of the culture here, the women that you see mostly in the market are older women and maybe women that are not married. So most of the marketing that women do here, they do it at home. So you see people coming into the house to buy. And then in the markets, you don't see Hausa women. And you see women from other parts of the country. So I believe and I understand, because I have lived in Lagos for over 20 that women in other parts of the country go to the market, but in the northern parts, mostly they trade at home. And just the way that men trade, just the way that women trade, men trade is almost equal parts for women in the north, because they trade at home. So it's true that women, yeah, play a very significant role in the market. I believe so.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, they don't go to the market.
Yes, in addition to that, yes, so we are the one in the market, we are in the kitchen, we do the processing, we do everything. So without us, men cannot survive. So women pray. I know the gender gap is actually enough, but we are trying to work it out to bridge the gap, bring women to the business entrepreneur and all those stuff. I have someone here who has been oil and gas, but she's trying to go into agriculture. She's a lady, a woman, a mother, and she's been there. She wrote about experience in oil and gas and promoting non-oil. Now I'm trying to convince her to come to the webinar to listen and see how he can tap into agriculture, because everybody believes it's only having cutlass and hoe. That's what they call agriculture. So I have her here, Odola. If she can really briefly talk about her books, that would be fine, just for us to have a break, a little bit of break, 5 minutes. We've been here since morning. I think everybody's tired. We need to relax a bit. Thank you.
Hello. Hello, please, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. We can.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. This is a great privilege. It's a great platform. I'm not taking it for granted at all. Thank you so much, Lolade. I got in touch with her yesterday. I think we were chatting and she discussed one or two things about this. And I said I was going to join this morning. And I've been here listening to what H and everybody has been saying. So it's a privilege to talk here this afternoon. My name is Odrola, and I'm the founder of a company called Oil Drops Limited. Oil Drops Limited has been in existence close to a decade now. We've been in oil and gas. I just wrote this book that you see. It's called Oil Money. It was a stagnation that made me to write that book, because there was so many stagnation by the time maybe 15 years after we've been in the business. So I would say my journey to building an empire, the mistakes and lessons learned, those are the things that are in the book. They are nuggets, many nuggets that I would say there are things that, especially people that has been high in oil and gas for a very long time. It's not as if oil and gas is, we've made money, we've lost money, but we're still here. So the book is more or less like so many nuggets that we can talk about in oil and gas. There's so many do's and don'ts they wouldn't tell us in oil and gas. I've been there and we're still there. Yes, we're trying to diversify, but by the special grace of God, I said, okay, these are so many of the experiences that we've gone through, have gone through as a person. I wouldn't want that experience to just go down the drain. Let me put it in a book, because I know the book would give me so many exposures, and a lot of people will know what it is when it comes to joining oil and gas. They're part of it. So I hope this is more or less like, this is more or less like as people to know what it is all about from my end, what we went through, the mistakes, a lot of things were made, the mistakes were made. So it's the subtitle is their turn nugget for building resilience in the downstream sector, and is now available to pre-order. Which maybe after this I can get back to Lola Day to say, okay, if anybody is interested, I'll be obliged to let you know where you can pay into. There's so many things in that book that I'm sure a lot of people that has heard or that has been looking at joining. I mean, I want to be in oil. I want to what it is about. There's an entire chapter in that book that I wrote about chasing evacuation. So it is an interesting one. It is not it's something, like I said, it was stagnation that made me to put the pen down and say, let me write a lot of things in oil and gas. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Onola. Yeah, I know I've put it in the chat. You can press the link to see the book if you're interested. In doing this, I would like to call on the trading. I've called earlier. I don't know, maybe they were around to just do their showcase. So I'm calling on TradeLink now for this section. So do we have a trade link? Yes, I can see them. So the floor is yours, sir. Thank you. We can't hear you. You are mute, sir.
Hello?
We can hear you now. Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
So
please.
I say good morning or good afternoon to everyone here. Alaji, I can see you, sir. Mr. Kanu, nice to meet you after a very long time. Well, I'll introduce myself. My name is Yaselia from William. I hail from Delta State, Nigeria. And I do a lot of things. Let me say I'm really versatile. But I have the love for agriculture. I'm an agripreneur, an entrepreneur, CEO of FarmTech Biosolutions, and currently CEO of TradeLinks Agro Commodities Limited. Today, I'm about to make a presentation on dairy goats. And the theme of today's presentation will be promoting the growth of dairy goats farming in sub-Saharan Africa and sustainable growth for sustainable growth and poverty alleviation, youth employment, and economic growth. I would like to introduce my product really quick because everyone has been here. I've been here as well since morning. I would like you to see a very nice picture of what a dairy goat looks like. And this is a pedigree goat. Its origins from the Mediterranean region of Cyprus and the Arab states. This is a hybrid that has been crossbred in Cyprus for over 50 years and has become a formidable breed. It's a pedigree and it has a patent in Cyprus. I just want to mention something about this dairy goat. It's formidable. It's a hardy goat. It adapts a lot to the real arid regions of the Mediterranean, the Gulf states, and also North Africa. Looking at the poor dairy goat industry in Nigeria, I've been reading a lot of articles while I was away. Alaji knows that I've been away for a while, and looking at so many articles from the CBN and from the Ministry of Agriculture, to develop, to go to move into the backward integration for dairy production in Nigeria, I had to come back to this. One of my profiles, my experience in the livestock industry has been 7 years. I stumbled upon it when I was in Cyprus. I got involved in it and it's 7 years now. We've done a lot of exports to North Africa, to the Middle East. If I should mention a lot of them, it's UAE, Kuwait, Qatar, Saudi Arabia. Also, these goats have been exported to Libya as well. It's only in recent years we faced problems because of the insecurity there and political problems that we couldn't continue trade. So eventually, unfortunately, actually, my company went moribund because Libya was a big market for us and North Africa. Well, I would like to say I want to introduce this goat into the dairy system in Nigeria. However, it's very, very capital intensive. Everybody knows how it is to go about the dairy goats production. And one system I'm looking at is currently establishing breeding centers in Nigeria. Sustainable breeding centers in Nigeria, where we import these pedigree goats, we breed them, semi-intensive system, accompanied with the animal health and vaccination, a training program. This center will be a training center for those who want to go into the dairy the dairy industry. And then we will also have things like the crossbreeding, the artificial insemination, chip technology for data collection and monitoring. And then last of all, the fodder, what do they call it, the sustainable fodder production. Actually, I'm not an animal scientist by profession. I'm a businessman, but I do facilitate this business, and I'm suggesting this for Nigeria. It's really, really going to work. Aisha has stated it, that if it's being introduced, this kind of system is introduced in the northern part or wherever in Nigeria to be really, really successful. From my own part, I can only set up my own farm, which would be like only 5 goats for my own personal consumption, for my health also. But I'm advocating that if we can key into certain areas like the CBN backward integration, the dairy development program, and other private initiatives to vamp up the dairy industry in Nigeria, I would be glad to work with anyone who will be interested in that. And lastly, I want to mention something. No, sorry, not lastly. I have a lot of things here to say. We'll be looking at collaborations, and collaborations in Nigeria here will be, we are looking at either Agro Allied, Mr. Kanu, I see you there, so you can give advice on how we can bring this from the ground up, along with Alaji. I also read about Livestock 360, is it Livestock 360? Or was it Livestock 247.com? And I have seen a lot of things they've done in Nigeria concerning the livestock industry. I was amazed, and I'm really ready to go. I contacted my father already. We are exposed to about 30 hectares of land in our village there, so we can do something about that. Let's say ranching. And it's very good in Delta State there to be very, very successful. So we are looking at how we can bring all stakeholders together, really to develop the dairy industry the goat dairy industry in Nigeria. There is no country in the world, no country, including Holland, France, or whatever country in the world that has been successful. We'll say we are truly successful in the dairy industry without including the goat milk. And then you see all those popular goats we talk about, the Saanen, the Alpine, the Anglo-Nubian, and others. We're talking about them because they've been successful in the countries where they originated from. The Cyprus Shami goats has been very successful in Cyprus to the extent that it is now 40% of the total dairy production in Cyprus. And Cyprus is very successful in the cheese making business. They export a lot of cheese, even to the UK, Europe, everywhere in the world, they do that. And this goat has been successful in helping them do that, achieve such a milestone. Also, the goats as well have been exported to 15 countries all over the world. The patent, the very, very good patent. It will be really, really successful in Nigeria, considering the climate, the tough conditions, compared to the typical European Alpine Saanen and all that. So I'm advocating for the Cyprus Shami goat to be in Nigeria. My company, Trade Links, have already come in agreement with the patent holders to promote their products in Nigeria. We've also partnered with them on building a modeling facility, a standard facility that will fit the breeding of these goats in Nigeria. In conclusion, I just want to say we will only succeed in Nigeria with the dairy industry, if we include the dairy goats. Friesland Campisa, they're doing a lot of work concerning the dairy industry, but it's not enough. We cannot be successful without the dairy goat milk. I'm a witness about this. It has been part of my life. I love cheese from Cyprus. I consume a lot of milk, goat milk, and I must honestly tell you, I'm a witness to this, and I must say Nigeria is going nowhere. We cannot say we're successful if we've not embraced the dairy goods industry.
Thank you very much, sir. Because of our time, the only question should be put on the chat box, because we are really, really not running out of time. We were meant to finish by 1, but because of the time now, we will go past 1 a little bit. So I will want everybody that has questions to put it on the chat box. While I call on Mr. Ayo Alex on talking about accessing funding. I don't know, maybe he's there. Yeah, Ayo Alex, to talk about how we can access or get finance. So I'm calling on Mr. Alex, please. Right, okay. Moving to the last segment, which is Doctor speaking about insect protein. Sir?
Before that, let me comment, just a small comment on the last speaker.
All right,
just,
sir.
William Yeltsin was with us. Kanu knows him because I'm sure Kanu must have forgotten where he saw him. We're in his office in Abuja with Yeltsin. Now, talking about goat, he mentioned, I believe that I've told him before that Ocean Mint Consortium will sign a collaboration agreement to establish a model center, a demonstration center for us to prove the concept he's talking about. If people look at the value chain of goat, they will be surprised that it's better to raise goat than to raise cows.
Exactly.
So I have experienced that and I've seen that. and it is a money spinning business, and therefore we will do it. I assure you, being the chairman of Ocean Mint Consortium, we will collaborate with you, and we prove concept, and other people will buy from us. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
so much,
Alaji.
Alaji. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I would like to call on Doctor now to talk about insect protein, and that will round up the speaker today. So let me call on Dr. Tony to take on the speech now.
Oh, you may be the last speaker. Thank you.
Hey, you're last because you're
Doctor, you will round up, you know that.
He will have last, not best.
He laughed less best, yes. So.
Okay, since I have only about 15 minutes, I'm just going to have to rush it out. Good afternoon, all. It has been such a wonderful, fulfilling experience coming together to talk and perhaps potentially act, and I mean it, act agribusiness as a tool for national and household economic redevelopment. I will put it that way, because you see, agribusiness or agriculture is already been developed all over the world, but only a few African nations are grabbing the opportunity to use it as a tool for developing their economy. Well, like you were told, I'm Dr. Tony Wempton, a former scientific research officer, technical advisor to United Nations and FAO on the agribusiness for refugee redevelopment. Done so much, and I'm happy I'm still doing that, thank God. So Wempton Agricultural Development and Advisory Service is a part of either Agro, Rumen Organic Brand Company, and Ocean Mint International. We are the R&D departments, the advisory, agro services facility management, farmland realtor management, turnkey project execution, government and non-governmental support services, marketing linkage for the Ocean Mint International Consortium. So basically, Ocean Mint Consortium is empowering creativity in food and agribusiness. So we're looking at the long chain of food, and we are considering the importance of protein farming from insects. Let me blow your mind first, if you're listening. I hope you all can hear me clearly. Do you eat prawns? Do you eat shrimps? Do you eat lobsters? Do you eat crabs? Okay, I'll tell you, they are small or micro small, medium, and large size insects. You all just don't know. In the early 18th centuries, they were farmed specifically to help supplement the lacking protein in human food. So I'm going to tell you, what exactly is insect farming? It's the practice of raising and breeding insects as feed for livestock in this current time. And they are referred to as mini livestock farming or entomoculture. Insects may be farmed for the commodities they produce, like silk, honey, lac, or insect tea, or for the actual insect themselves to be used as food or as feed for livestock, or feed as additives are used in dye and polish production. So in Africa, indeed Nigeria, especially in our rural areas, which are very close to the wild ecology, insect farming has facilitated food production, particularly as a panacea to reduce food shortage due to drought and agricultural farming failures. Insect farming or insect bush trapping provides additional cash for some basic household needs and expenditures, which include purchase of farm inputs, implements, and also assisting payment of farmers' children's school fees. You see, suddenly the demand for insect protein is being projected right now to hit about 30 million metric tons by the year 2030. And this is due to climate change, which is actually affecting agro in terms of crop production and reduction in yield. Meanwhile, industries could no longer get industrial raw materials as required. So effort is turning towards farming insects much more in large quantity. Investment and technology too is going into the farming of insect protein. I'll give you one very good example currently now in America and Europe is the black soldier fly ant larvae. That alone now in America is hitting about 1.5 billion US dollars as a market worth. The black larvae fly are very good, excellent source of animal protein, and they produce a high quality source of nutrition for pigs, for poultry, for fish, and some pets. In fact, you'll be surprised in some African states, humans consume the larvae. In the United Kingdom, the larvae is used as bait for those who are in the game of fish club, fish trapping. Don't worry, Mr. Akisoli, I will send the picture. I get your message. I will send the picture after now to everybody. The black soldier ant larvae, that market alone for bait in the United Kingdom is currently worth £380,000 if you go to some of those pet shops. And there is increasing demand for black larvae, not just in UK, all over Europe, because a lot of them go fish farming and fish hunting on the river lakes. So it's becoming a very quiet, silent cash cow. Even right here in Nigeria, some poultry feed manufacturers are asking people who are farming insects in their homes to continue to supply them the larvae. Okay, let's consider a few that you, in case you are thinking about it, that you can latch onto. You have the silkworm. The caterpillar of the domestic silk moths, they are kept to produce silk, an elastic fiber that is used in the production of textile fabric. Now, this is likely done in a lot part of Asian countries and some of the semi-temperate areas of Africa. You have the mealworm. The mealworm is another very interesting insect known as Tenebrium manilotolerus. I'll tell you something about mealworm. The embryonic period is just for 3 to 6 days. But the larvae will keep living for the next 6 to 9 months. So, and the production is so prolific. So that it's The same thing goes for buffalo worm. Then we come to honeybees. A lot of Africans have gone into production of honey, apiculture, because we know how important bees are, not only for the commodity they produce, but even as a pollinator agent. You get your beeswax, you get your bee bread, you get the bee pollen, you get the propolis, you also get royal jelly, you get the brood, and then honey. You see, all these aforementioned are used in food and the cosmetic industry. In fact, beeswax alone in Nigeria is worth in the neighborhood of about, according to Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, about 6 billion Nigerian naira. So it's a very huge market. Imagine you hanging on to just 0.895%. You are rich. Are we talking about the sale of honey? Right now, a liter of a bottle of honey is going for between 2,000 to 2,500 naira. So why not look into honeybee farming? Then we also have lac. The insect is a resinous substance that they produce called lac, and it's used in many applications as in food colorants, wood finish. You'll be surprised when you look at some Chinese meal. They are so beautiful, so attractive. That is what the Chinese are using as a bait to attract attention. When you look at their own seafood and you think, wow, this is gorgeous. It's not like this in Nigeria, or it's not like this in Africa. It's because they use lac, colorants. So it is also used in India. So that market is very, very huge. That lac is predominantly Indian, Thailand, and China. And currently, Nigerians are importing that now as they use that as colorant for cake production. When you see some of your soft sugar craft cakes, and you imagine how they get those beautiful color blends, those are lac infused food edible substance from insect. Then you have the cochineal. Well, cochineal is not very popular in Africa, but it is very popular in China and Europe. In fact, currently, France is the largest importer of caramel produced from cochineal insects. And that alone is what, about €1 trillion. So that's a very big market. Now, another cash cow you might be thinking about again is crickets. Crickets is another insect that we can farm. And the Achitana domesticus, which is the most common one that humans consume, alone is worth about $6.5 billion market. Because right now, if you go to East Africa, some part of West Africa, Central Africa, cricket are consumed as dry roasted, baked, deep fried, and perhaps boiled and incorporated in vegetable stews. In fact, in South Africa, cricket powder is actually used in some smoothie cocktails. So when you visit South Africa, please be careful if you don't like eating crickets. All right, the most important, which is like home to Nigeria, is actually the rhinoceros beetle. I'm sure you know that. Everybody knows that. If you're traveling between Ijebu-Ode and the east-west coast, all the way to Delta, Awka in Anambra, you will see them by the roadside in a stick with snail. That is the beetle of rhinoceros insects. They are so important in some of our human meals. Like I mentioned, you find them commonly in Ijebu, Ondo, Edo, Delta, Cross River, Akwa Ibom, Makurdi, moving towards the northeast. According to mini research that we carried out, that is myself in conjunction with our 3 professors at Babcock University, it was found out that a large proportion of family household replaced 1 kilogram of beef with approximately 5 to 10 kilograms of rhinoceros beetle larvae in their meal as a result of economic crunch. So rhinoceros beetle is very, very important, especially the larvae. Even the chitin, that is it also contains protein. Then cockroaches. Well, people have read in their billions. In fact, it is growing phenomenally now in China because it's been incorporated in some parts of China. Thank you very much. I appreciate you too. That is also termites. The reason why I'm not actually promoting termite, I will explain to you, sir. Of all the insects that I have mentioned, retain gas and they don't release greenhouse gas. Termite release trace elements of methane and greenhouse gas. So that is why I didn't mention many of them, termites as one of them. Yes, they are, but they're not sort of popular. You find that termite is very popular with the locals. Okay, now just quickly, because I know I'm running out of time. Some other bigger animals depend on insects. You'll find monkeys, bears, and also I think you know there's this family I cannot remember immediately now. They're in China. They also rely heavily on insects. Now, in terms of the industry, you find poultry industry, fish industry are in large demand of insect protein in Nigeria. If you go into the production of this, I'll tell you what you get and why the animals love it. Because I'm talking especially about those that are bred in captivity. The nutritional value are so dense in protein, and they contain micronutrients-rich probiotics. They are rich in vitamins like vitamin B12, riboflavin, and vitamin A. So insect offers economic solution to increasing pressure of food insecurity and environmental degradation in our environment. Now, let's talk briefly about the benefits. You see, apart from them being a good source of quality protein for humans, they also tend to provide largely employment for downtrodden. Because of their prolificity, insect does not need a large space, and they do not need a large capital. If you can just get a small box, or you can build on a netting box and then develop your rotting and fattening units. Even within a box, at the time we gave boxes to farmers outside the campus, those boxes just mentioned, they measured just 4 feet by 6. And we were generating in the neighborhood of about 2.5 million larvae every 3 months from those boxes. And you don't really need to go and get materials other than rotting foods, fruits, because that's what they like. Let me tell you something. The insects will eat only 2 kilograms of rotten vegetable, carrots, and all of this, just 2 kilograms, and they will produce 1 kilogram of protein. If you are to compare that with your livestock, cows, for example, and other ruminants, we ingest nothing less than 25 kilograms of protein just to produce 1 kilogram of protein. So insects farming, it's very, very lucrative. And in terms of going to market, by the time you grow your cow or goat or whatever for a period of 6 months to 2 years to get them ready for market, insects in 2 to 3 weeks, they are ready. And a female insect will lay a minimum egg, depending on the species, of 1,000 eggs in 2 to 3 weeks before they go away. So insect farming is one silent cash cow that people should be thinking about now. So, and then in terms of land required, you don't really need a large space. Even in your backyard, you can commence insect farming. That is depending on the choice. Like, for example, if you're going to go into rhinoceros beetle and livery production, you will need to get a small trunk of pantry. You know, as long as you continue to keep it living and provide them food for them in the trunk, they will go on producing the larvae for you, you know. Not to talk of the black soldier ant fly. Those ones, once they finish their job, they die, but the larvae continues the cycle. So it's another very small farming area that humans can go into. You can saunter into that, and I bet you will make a huge amount of money. Like, for example, the feed mill industry now, if you're going to sell them processed baked larvae, you're looking at nothing less than 30,000 naira per 1 kilogram of larvae, well processed. So that's a lot of money. Anyway, gentlemen and lady, I know you have been here all time. I will not talk much on insect protein more than I can. There are other areas you need to know in terms of processing, which mean when you harvest your larvae, how to boil, salt, salinity, and all of this, the temperature, because you have to be done under specific temperature, and then quickly harvest, air dry, baked, and you're ready to package for sale. That will be another topic for discussion next time. But for now, I want to open your thought into this very small, portable farming area that is actually catching attention and cash cow. Thank you very much. If you ever need to reach me, you can go through Ocean Mint Consortium. I will be glad to be of help. Thank you ever so much. I'm Dr. Tony Wempton Owatemi, and is glad to be a part of this discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sir. Thank you very much.
Can we go with some questions as well?
Yes, it's time for Q&A. Yes, time for Q&A.
Dr. Wempton. Hello,
yes,
sir.
Yes,
I'm glad I participated in the conference today. I would like to show you a picture on my phone that I took of some crickets just a few months ago in Delta State. Can everyone see this? This is consumed in the South region, mostly in the southern part of Nigeria. They're huge crickets. I don't know if anyone can see that. I need to put it close to the. I actually bred them, and I wanted to feed them to my chicken. You can see that. So the people who are actually working silently on this particular thing, particular entomo culture in Nigeria. That's why I own a company called FarmTech Biosolutions. We are into all this kind of biosolutions for animal, both for human consumption and animal feed. By next year, I would have already the technology to breed them, because already they exist already in the region where I stay here in Delta State. They're consumed widely, they're widely accepted. It's just people don't understand. Not just in Delta, in the South and some Southeast region, because I interviewed a lot of people around my area here, and they told me, yes, they do consume it in the Southeast as well. So I'm working on it. As you can see, I showed you pictures. I have a video as well, a very short video of them creeping all over the place at night. And I don't know if you would like to see this. It's a very short video with a lot of crickets in the compound. I documented this already because I'm working on it. That's my voice you hear there. So it's not something I downloaded. You can see the crickets, they're everywhere. They were everywhere. There were thousands of them everywhere. And already I already understood the entomo culture, and I started trying to start breeding them here in Delta State. I was not really successful, but once I'm out of the country before the end of the year, I'll get technology and all the expertise to breed them in a mass quantity here in Delta State. As you can see. So thank you so much, Oz. Thank you so much. I'm really, really glad you brought up this. You brought this up today.
Thank you.
I think our moderator is back. So Rumi, can we close the event with maybe vote of thanks from Alaji, and then display of our sponsors, supporters, and that's it. To the next episode, which will be announced later. So thank you, everybody. I open so Alaji can do the vote of thanks. Bye.
Sir, Alhaji, sir.
Yes.
First and foremost, especially thank each and every one of our participants for coming to the conference. Yes, I want to opportunity to invite Alhaji Bubakar to give us our closing remarks, sir.
Thank you very much, Brume. As I speak to you, gentlemen and women that participated in this epoch-making event, I speak and be doubled by a number of emotions. The first emotion is the emotion of gratitude. Gratitude to God that has made it possible for us to carry out this event successfully. The second emotion is the emotion of joy. Joy that we started something only a few months ago, and we have now actualized, and we are now walking the talk instead of talking the talk. The third emotion is the emotion of humility. Humility that at my age, 70 years old, I am still desirous, agile, and ready to support the teeming youth and women to succeed. William said he has not succeeded in his business. Now you have come to the bus stop with Ocean Mint, you will succeed. And the last emotion is the emotion of fulfillment. Fulfillment that I, as a person that has been working on sharing with people, whether young or old, irrespective of religion or tribe, that I am now continuing to do this. And with that, the secret of my usefulness and my happiness is based on that. I therefore wish to, at this point, thank everybody for the time taken. And I want to assure you, ladies and gentlemen, that this is the beginning. And we are going to involve you in so many things that are collaborative, that are useful for us to move the nation to where it has to be, especially to provide food on the table for our teeming population. Nigerian population grows 6 million a year, and we cannot afford not to do something now because otherwise we'll be engulfed by famine and poverty and so on, and we don't want that. As long as we remain with the ideas and remain with the health and remain with you that are supportive and very ready to participate with us, we will do the best to achieve our objective. Thank you very much. God bless. I wish you the best in your life and your endeavors. Thank you.
Thank you, Alhaji. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Alhaji, thank you so much, sir, for being a good, a worthy patron, a worthy partner, and a worthy mentor in this drive. And also, we would like to give Ms. Dr. Tony an opportunity to also add to the vote of thanks. Dr. Tony, the floor is yours.
Well, just like my chairman has said, I would like to thank everybody. And I appreciate your time, which is precious, that you spare for us. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate your contribution. Even if you have not said a word, being part of this speaks more value. I will implore you to please continue to help us share and spread the good news. Tell other people whatever you have gained or learned from here. Continue to spread the word and talk to other people about Ocean Mint Consortium. And if you ever need help, or if you ever need us to collaborate with you on any project, when I say project, any agro project, we are here and ready, willing, and available. Thank you all very much. God bless you. God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for that additional vote of thanks. And Mrs. Lodadid already opens the floor. And this is to, also that as the conveners were doing their vote of thanks, on the screen that was displaying pictures of our sponsors, our partners, our showcasing vendors, our supporters, and their products. So these are the things that are showing on the screen, shared screen before you. So we want to also use that opportunity to thank our speakers, our facilitators who gave us their time, gave us their all, gave us everything that we asked for and even more. So first and foremost, I would like to thank our horticulture expert, our agro-business consultant, Mr. Kanu Michael. Thank you so much, sir, for being available for us and giving us the best of you. Your session was very, very good.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you. Alhaji, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, thank you very much.
You know, Kanu, I'm with you and I will remain with you.
Yes, I know.
We'll be together.
I know, yes, we'll keep working together like we are in the past. Thank you. It's been nice.
Yeah, trading link. We also want to use the opportunity to recognize our other speakers. In fact, we also want to say,
please, can you acknowledge our KBSC because I took him from his palace to come and be online, not through.
Very necessary.
He's here, yes.
That is a clear demonstration of humility.
We are acknowledging every that participated. That's what we are doing. We are acknowledging every facilitator that we are doing.
Thank you.
I wish to come to your
Thank you,
palace.
Your Royal Majesty.
I want to come to your palace, Your Royal Majesty.
Can we all mute, please? We can't hear again.
Can we all mute? We can't hear what anybody's saying. Please, thank you very much, Your Excellencies. Okay, so we want to recognize, we want to appreciate Oba Sunday Olushayo Oyilawo JP, the Elega of Eleha Kingdom. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you for your presentation. Thank you for your participation. So much, sir. We are grateful. We also want to say thank you King Kumi Akinloye Kumolu. Thank you so much, the CEO of Tamatech Global Services Limited. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your session. It was very incisive and it was very decisive and it was very impactful. We also want to say a big thank you to Hajia Aisha Suleiman Bafa. Thank you so much, ma, the National President, Women's Farmers, Processors, Transporters, and Traders Association of Nigeria. Thank you so much for your time, your effort. We are grateful. I want us to say thank you to Mr. Ibrahim Magari Amadou, the co-founder of Livestock247.com. Thank you so much, sir, for your time. Thank you all for your participation in the second edition of the Agribusiness Conference with the team implementing technology in modern times, agribusiness solutions, implementing technologies in modern times. And we want to let you know that for as many of you who have participated, we'll be sending you details post-mortem about this conference, and also for our proposed third edition that will be coming up, we will be sending you information later via your email and the contacts that you have given to us. Thank you very much. We are deeply grateful. And on behalf of Oceanic Consortium, my name is Rume Ogane, and I have been your moderator. I want to say we have officially closed the second edition of the Agribusiness Conference. Thank you.
Thank you, Rume. Bye, everyone.
So everybody, thank you very much, everyone.